Hello, good afternoon. So, we have completed the second chapter as well of the story of civilization, and like I cannot explain whole chapter um, in just one video. So, there I would try to uh, give you the essence of the chapter. So, in this video, we'll just discuss uh, the lesson that we get from the second chapter with one important line. Um, and the line that is essence of the chapter second itself is stated that innumerable parasites that invest them are hostile to civilization, liturgy, disease, precocious maturity, and decay. Mm, divert energy from those inessential of life that is required in order to make a civilization are these things uh, absorb us in hunger and reproduction. Now, let me clarify what does it mean? What does this whole sentence mean? When author says innumerable parasites, he's talking about so many negative forces, so many bad things that can disrupt the progress of civilization. So when he says innumerable parasites, so parasite means some things that makes something a host and survive based on what that particular thing in which uh, that parasite uh, live. So that particular parasite is depend on the host body. So the author is uh, uh, trying to say that nation itself or a civilization itself is you can consider it as an host body where if we would affect by some negative forces, then we would become uh, parasites. So, by saying innumerable parasites means so many parasites indicating humans that has been affecting uh, that has been affected uh, by the negative forces. What are these negative forces? That's uh, our author says that lethargy, disease, precocious maturity, and decay. So these are some of the examples of negative forces that can make impure uh, to the human civilizations uh, by making or by implanting impurity uh, to each individual of that civilized society or a civilization. Okay, now um, so I think you guys have understood the first one. I mean, the first sentence, which is innumerable parasite that invest them are hostile to civilization, which means unfriendly to civilization. Hostile means unfriendly. So, and then he further he gave us some of the examples like lethargy, laziness, disease, something related to your health, precocious maturity. Precocious maturity, let me give you a description about precocious maturity. So it's basically when you experience some kind of trauma in your early life, and even from your childhood, you become so mature that there is no place for creativity art and culture. So that's a precocious maturity, and author uh, usually, I mean, author take it um, as a negative thing, because um, progress means change, and if someone would be affected by precocious maturity, then that person would oppose change, right? And the last option, the last example which he gave was about decay. And then he says that these things divert energy from the inessential of life. Now, what is inessential of life mean? Um, he's saying that there are things that are inessential for the survival, but it is important for uh, the progress of civilization. L- some of the examples are arts, creativity, thinking, philosophy, and science. So he's trying to say, when you're dealing with these negative forces, you don't, or you, like, you can't have time, potential, or energy to maintain an attention towards these inessential of life, which is required for the progress of civilization. And further, he say that these things divert. Further, he says that these things absorb energy in hunger and reproduction. So overall, when you are affected by the negative forces, you act like a parasite to your own nation, or to your own civilization. And when you become parasite, you are just like a common man whose basic need, or whose top priorities are hunger, survival, or reproduction. And they don't contribute in those inessential of life which is required for the progress of civilization. uh, there are art, culture, creativity, thinking, you know and when majority of people become parasite, they disrupt the progress of civilization. And the pattern that author uh, had the author and her wife Ariel Durant, they both have been observed, is that whenever there will be a majority of parasites in a nation, then you cannot stop that nation to decline. Thank you.